Greetings guys, Jay Smith here. Now, how do you make your decisions when it comes to driver? Now, I see this every week, definitely every month, but I've seen it twice this week already, and it seems to be a bit of a spate at the moment. So it's time to make a video about it, because whether you're buying brand new, say Ping G425, or whether you're buying second-hand, Ping G30. Now G30 is quite old. You've got G30G, G400, G410, G425, and obviously G430 is out February-ish, something like that. So the G30 is about to get even older. So whether you buy new or whether you buy second-hand, eBay, marketplace, car boots, from your mate, it doesn't matter where you get them from, people seem to obsess about what models they're having. I'm having a Titleist this or a tailor-made that. You have the Stealth, you have the TSR, you have the new Rogue, whatever it be. Yet they're not seemingly spending much time working out exactly what loft they need. And the amount of times I see it is scary. Now, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a G425 and we are going to put it up at its highest loft. And with the new G425 against the G30, yes, the loft adapters have changed slightly over time. So now you've got 1.5 degrees either way. So you can move loft by 3 degrees in a G425. In a G30 you could only do it 2 degrees and 0.6 in between. So we will do 4 sets of data, and that 4 sets of data is going to be at 2 different speeds. So you guys who say, and obviously most people don't swing the same speed as I do, I'm going to do 2 sets of data. I'm going to do a high and a low loft at 105 miles an hour, which is what really would be a decent amateur speed. 105 mile an hour driver swings a decent amateur speed. And then I'm going to do one at 85 miles an hour, which is where you would see the classic senior or necessarily the amateur, which doesn't quite know how to swing yet. Mechanics are a little bit off and gets his own in her or his own way. And then obviously, yeah, would improve as time goes on. But 2 different sets of data at 2 different lofts, and we're just going to go show, and we'll use the Ping G425, and we're going to go show just how important this pesky little thing called loft is. So I've now got this, and I will continue to do all the testing, all the 4 different data sets in this same shaft. I've got the CK Tensai Orange Raw 65 stiff flex. So I'll just keep it the same for everything. Now, again, you argue when it comes to speed, you would change bend profile with speed. Yes, you would. But generally speaking, when it comes to shaft is a fine tune. Head dictates far more than shaft. And if you're going to change dynamic loft by changing the static loft of the head by that much, yeah. So keep everything exactly the same is the best way, just to show just the differences in head before we talk about the nuances of shaft. Anyway, so I've got this now in the low loft setting, so I'm going to go give this one a hit 105. Then I'm going to go hit it in the high loft setting at 105, and then I'm going to dial it down to 85 miles an hour and hit it loads of times in the high loft at 85, and then dial it down to low loft and again at 85. And so by the end of it, I'll be all but hot and bothered, but we'll get an understanding of just how much difference, if any, loft makes when it comes to your drives at whatever speed you do hit. Right, now hit a load of those. Oh, already getting hot. Let's go change the head. Let's do it all again. Right, loft all adjusted. Time for round 2. Okay, that's all the hitting done now at 105-ish miles an hour. It's time to dial it down to 85. I'm tired already. At a more of a senior speed, and see how we get on. Right, now that hit and done, let's change the loft of this old girl, or new girl, and let's do it completely the other way at 85 miles an hour. Alright, let's go to the number side and see just how much of a difference this loft thing makes. So guys and girls, welcome to the number side of the video where I have now knackered myself after hitting, yeah, lots. So we've got 4 different data sets, 2 at 105 miles an hour, or as close as I can, and 2 at 85 miles an hour, again, as close as I can. So we're going to look at the ball data first, and then we'll have a look at the associated head data to see what differences, if any, have come from getting that same head and moving the loft around from highest to lowest. Anyway, so we'll go to ball data first. So you look at the column there, you've got the red, you've got the yellow, you've got the cyan, blue, and the violet, pink, purple, that kind of colour. Again, you've got the titles on there. The high loft and low loft denote the 105 miles an hour, and then obviously low speed 85. Yeah, so the red one first. Ball speed 152.7, launching at 13.2, spinning at 3,000, and carrying at 255. Remember, high loft. The low loft one, ball speed 155.6. Now, let's assume it's exactly the same ball speed, we are potentially going to get a increase in ball speed anyway, because obviously as you drop the loft, you increase efficiency or smash factor, depending on which side of the fence of the launch monitor that you are on. Yeah, anyway, so launching at 11.6 against 13.2, so again, reduction in loft is going to go lower off the face, but spinning at 2.2 rather than 3,000, and then 270 being the carry distance, and at 295. So okay, it's 15 yards longer in the air, which is great, is impressive, but it's 22 yards longer when you think of total. Now remember guys, when it comes to total distance, that is very subjective to conditions, individual, time of year, many different things happen when you hit the ground. You can pitch it into a slight upslope, a downslope, or whatever it would be, and yeah, that's the only problem we're doing on course testing. If you do on course testing, then all you're doing is basically testing the conditions and the potluck of when you hit it on the ground. You're not testing like a batch of 100 shots, which would have a little bit of evening out of any kind of weirdness that you have when it comes to the odd one here or there. So there you go. When it comes to that, as a 15-yard gain, when you look at getting the faster speed, lowering the loft. Right, let's go to the lower speed. Low speed, high loft, low speed, low loft. 126 to 127.7. So again, when you're looking at lowering the loft, there is an associated increase in ball speed, and as long as the head speed's the same, that will then potentially be down to the 3 degrees loft less difference, lower. Less deflection, more efficiency, smash factor, yeah. Launching at 14.5 against 11.8, yes, and spinning at 2,100 or 2,065 to 13.49. So there is a 700 RPM difference between those two, which is great on the first one when you're swinging fast, but on the swinging slower, not so much, which means basically you carry distance between 206 and 190. So where you've got a 15-yard gain in the faster swing with lower loft, you have on this one, you have a 16-yard gain with the slower swing having enough loft on it. And that equates to, when it comes to total distance, only 6 yards, unfortunately, because again of the skew width for when it comes to hit and bounce and roll. This simulator is a sterile simulator. So again, there's many different ground conditions, time of year, how soft it is, if it's rained, if you're in upslope, that kind of idea. So let's go have a little look at the club head data to see if I have done my job properly. So high loft, low loft, red and yellow. 1.45 to 1.46, 10, 105.1 to 106.2. So I did swing 1 mile an hour faster, with the low lofted one. So 1. Dynamic loft is 18.9 against 15.9. Again, not surprised there's 3 degrees there because there's 3 degrees of static loft between high and low. Dynamic lie, basically same face angle, path, all that. So the only thing I would say on there, the attack angle is 1.2 degrees more when it comes to a low lofted one. And there will be a small change in dynamics from 1 degree in attack angle. It's not a lot at all. I mean, it's 15 yards longer, 1.1 miles an hour, 1.1 miles an hour head speed and 1.2 degrees in attack angle will contribute, but it's not 15 yards by no stretch. So the next one, the important one for the slow swingers out there, you've got the cyan and the magenta, no, purple, violet, blue and purple, 146 to 148 or 1.46 to 1.48 smash factor or efficiency. Yep, 86.6 and 86.4. Yay, within 0.2 of a mile an hour is exactly the same. 18.5 degrees of dynamic loft and 15.2. Within 0.3, there's your 3 degrees, and everything is within reason, very, very, very close. You look at the strikes there, even the strikes themselves, the red and yellow, 2 important data sets, they're on top of each other. The cyan and violet, they're the other set of data sets, they're on top of each other. So there's a slight vertical difference when it comes to the 2 striking patterns, but because of the 2 striking patterns are similar within their own data sets, is like for like testing. So from that alone, we are literally just testing loft. How much difference does it take, or does it mean when you take that head and change it 3 degrees difference in that 2 sets of speeds? Now that is same shaft, same head, just loft. When you're talking about, let's just say ping for example, they have adjustment of 3 degrees through its lowest and its highest, but they also have 3 different heads. So you have a 9 degree head, 10.5 degree head and a 12 degree head, of which then you could be down at 7 or so degrees and up at 13 plus degrees. That's a lot of difference. Now, okay, that is a big difference, but it just goes to show, and the amount of people that I have, and I've had 2 this week already, of where you have people coming in with a decent swing speed. They are fast. They've got very little control of how to use it, but that's why they're having lessons. But they are over 100 miles an hour on their driver, yet they're coming in with 10.5 heads and up to 11.5, sometimes more, because their mate Brian said it was a really good idea. And they've been hitting these shots, and of course you've got face to path differences as well, and all that lot, which kind of complicate things a little bit. But if you are going to have a loft issue and then you increase the loft again because of face to path issues when most people slice, it's just going to make it worse. And no different to the other way around. The amount of times that I have senior people come in, yes they do, and they come in with slower swings, and they're coming in with 9 degree heads, and you ask them, why have you got 9 degree head? Well, I always played a 9 degree head. I like the 9 degree head. Well, that was fine when you were X amount of years before and you were, well, 25 mile an hour faster than you are now. 9 degrees worked great then. Unfortunately, you kind of have to go with the speed at which you are, and then by putting loft in their hands, if you can kind of break them from that kind of, oh, I've always had 9 degrees, the amount of difference that you can see in the distance that they can create is crazy big. And, or they're happy afterwards, but it's got sometimes you've got to kind of break through that exterior of the issue. But that just goes to show within one head just how important loft is at both 2 different speeds. So guys, make sure if you're going to go buy golf clubs, I get it, stuff is expensive, it really is expensive. So making sure you go like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, a car boot sale, your mate John's selling his driver, it's fine, I get it, expensive. But make sure you get custom fit first from a point of view you know exactly what you need within reason. So if you know you need a X amount lofted driver, give or take this, of course everything's specific with its own manufacturer, yes, but you can glean a very, very good understanding of where you need to be. And of course, if John's driver that he's selling doesn't suit you, well, to be fair, that might be a brand new Rogue, or it might be a brand new Stealth, or a brand new TSR, but if it doesn't suit and fit you, that's no good and is no different as to the one that you want to get rid of at the moment. So yeah, and no different when it comes to custom fitting. When you are buying new, these kind of conversations must be had, because it can make a huge difference to the distance that you hit, and the enjoyment level of your golf. So anyway, comment below of what you think about this video, and if you had any loft queries in the past. Down there's a little like button. If you can click that one, that'd be great. YouTube loves it. Next to that is a subscribe button. It's a big old red button. Click on that one. It's free. Absolutely free, and yeah, free content. But next to it, the more important one, little bell icon. If you tick that one, that'll let you know next time I upload another video, which won't be long because I'm trying to get out as many as I possibly can do. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.